Mic check 1 2. Let's have a look here, see if we're live. Looks like we might be. Do we have anyone in the chat? Appears we do. Howdy, fellas. Frankie, what's going on? Joey, 619, always on time as usual. Welcome. John and Jonathan. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate that a lot. Alrighty, how's everyone doing today? It's middle of the week, so a little bit off guard. What we were planning to do today was bring on a special guest. Well, guests actually, Token Metrics crew. So they've actually sponsored the channel, and so we're just going to bring them on because they're actually one of the first kind of channels and sort of tools I used very early on, and it's a real pleasure to have them sponsoring the channel. It's actually kind of surreal, to be honest with you. And we're going to have them on today, but there was a few sort of technical issues in terms of setting up a stream, and I didn't want to announce anything just yet, but I am looking at doing a podcast soon with another YouTuber who is right into the things I like, and it was going to be a mixture of live streams and podcasts, pre-recorded, and I wanted to have people come on these podcasts, other influencers, and also projects to kind of have more of a discussion in the space and introduce them to you guys, not for the whole stream, of course, for about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe even half of the video, half of the stream, but yeah, I thought it might be a bit different. Might be a good thing, you know, introduce you guys to more projects, and give other influencers, up-and-coming influencers, a platform to kind of talk about what they're doing, why they're different, things like that. So you guys might enjoy that as we move forward. That might be a better use case for the live streams, at least for the start, and then, you know, towards the crux of it, 45 minutes, half hour, we can really get into what we typically do, you know. Not every live stream, of course. I want to do more frequent live streams, but how we doing here, guys? Okay. Are you from Portugal? Okay, yeah, BTC just woke up. G'day, tired of these BTC green wicks. Give me more bearish. Yeah, man, I feel you, man. I definitely want to continue buying, that's for sure. Have you had a look into AOS? Yeah, I have. A while back now, man. A while back I had a look into that project. We'll get into some of these projects in just a minute. I'll let a few more people join. But yeah, I mean, look, let me just flick over to the screen over here. By the way, you guys can hopefully hear me fine. Last week, on the last live stream, I realized after I'd recorded it, I listened to it back, and the audio was coming out of my laptop. Now I'm using my PC, so if you can hear me, I mean, it definitely has to come through one way or another, but has to come through this microphone. But yeah, it was just crazy. The whole last live stream was like voice recorded through my laptop. It was so annoying when I heard that. I was like, oh. Now here I am moving the microphone around and stuff. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Bitcoin wicked down here for a bit, and it's back up again. Did a bit of a W pattern, if that even is a pattern. I don't do TA, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like that on the when you zoom out, does it? Bit of a W. Is that a reverse head and shoulders? I don't know what I don't know what that actually is. But yeah, that's so annoying. Look at that. Bang. It's like everyone just like FOMO'd in down at the 28.8, and then it's just like all those orders just kept going up. I don't know. But yeah. It would be good if it went down, if it kept going down. I mean, look, I'm not, as I say, I probably wouldn't recommend holding off for a black swan event, but I definitely do think that one is definitely overdue here. We might not see one until the bull market, basically. there might be a situation in the bull market where we're halfway through, 3/4 through, even a third of the way through, and then bang, catches everyone off guard. And it's like, we'll probably have prices cheaper than what we have right now. And so, you know, it might throw a big, I guess, spanner in the works, but if you have the money to capitalize, you can capitalize. Yeah, good question. So, John, guys, let's get your opinion on this before we start here. What's your opinion on 2 live streams a week? I probably could do 3 a week, but that would be really stretching myself thin here. And I probably couldn't do 2 videos a day at that point. But how do you feel about 2 live streams a week? That's what I'm thinking of doing, and just bringing more people into the limelight. Not that this particularly gets millions of views, but just kind of highlighting more projects, you know, interviewing founders, for example, like Dan from Flux, the founder of Flux, wants an interview. So if I interview him, I think I would like to kind of maybe do one live. That would be really interesting. I mean, I'm not the best interviewer in the world. That's why one of the reasons why I moved away from it. I was kind of, situations happened, but yeah, I definitely not the best. So it would be interesting to kind of like leverage everyone in the chat, and then we can ask the questions live. But yeah, Flux is one that we might have on here soon. One of the first interviews we might do live. Damien asks, how can I contact you for mentoring? I'm not able to message you in Twitter. Yeah, I don't know why Twitter doesn't let people message you if they don't have blue. It's so stupid. Makes kind of sense though. So if you want to get in contact with me, the best way to get in contact with me is 100% in the Discord chat. If I can open it up over here. I might leave a pinned, hopefully I'm not doxing anyone over here. Yeah, I might leave a pinned thing down below so you guys can join the Discord. So when you're in the Discord, the chat, just like @Kyron, @me, and then just like say, hey, can you get in contact with me, blah, 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 blah. And we'll, someone will, surely, one of the mods will pick it up and message me, or I'll pick it up and message you directly. And then you can send me a friend request too, and just DM me, and it'll come through, and we'll get in contact from there. That's probably the best way to contact me. I'm pretty inactive because I'm so busy every day. I'm so focused. So hopefully that helps, Damien. Also on Patreon as well. So if you want like a one-on-one or like a build a portfolio type thing, I do have those on offer on Patreon. Right? So, you know, I don't want to make this the whole live stream here, but... So we have just the support, we have the book, the one-on-one call, consultation, and then we have the build a portfolio. So we'll sit down 2-3 calls a week, and we'll build you a portfolio from scratch in a month. Anyway, hopefully that helps. What's my opinion on Cronos? Good question here. Good question here, Crypto3. So a lot of people talk highly of Cronos. I don't know why. I mean, yes, it's like, okay, I get it, right? Because look at BNB. BNB is $247. Nothing to scoff at, okay? By any stretch of the imagination. So, where are we here, Crow? So for an exchange token to shoot up to that price makes sense. But one thing you got to remember is, as far as I'm aware, Crow doesn't have a blockchain, whereas BNB has the Binance Smart Chain. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I've heard some news that they were doing something recently, and so I know I'm missing something here, but people are talking about it more. But as far as I'm aware, it's not sexy. Like, I know that you need it for the credit cards and stuff like that, for the debit cards. But I mean, yeah, I'm not too phased. I mean, I know I'm a big preacher about this, but it's up 200% since inception. And again, I'm a big preacher of you shouldn't look at that as an indication of how quality it is, but I don't think they have much going for it, guys. However, that is almost a 20x from its top. So, D, yeah. So my opinion, meh. I wouldn't bother with it. If I have $1,000 to spend, I've got like 300 other projects I'd rather put my $1,000 in than Cronos. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. Like, if I had $100,000, I probably wouldn't even. If I put like $1,000 I could put in $1,000 in 100 projects. I still wouldn't buy Cronos. Why not just go all in on gaming altcoins? So much more explosive returns, Gala, so on and so forth. I'm actually making a video, maybe today or tomorrow, on gaming coins, and another one I've got coming up next week, hopefully as well. So gaming, yes, gaming is going to have the most amount of money probably flow into it in the bull market, and I think it'll probably have the most. If there's some statistic to track how many millionaires can be made from anything, I think gaming altcoins will definitely have the most millionaires made. That's for damn sure. Because that's like the most immediate use case for crypto, right? Like, what is the most immediate use case? It's gaming, okay? Because like as Alex Becker pointed out, they have like private servers, they have their own back ends, or at least front ends, right? Like the game runs on its own server or something, centralized, like typical. And then you have the aspect that connects it with DeFi or crypto. That's a smart contract that can pretty much run on anything. If it can run on Ethereum, it can run on any other network, right? And that's how it interacts within the game loop itself. That makes sense. So it's nothing overly technical here. It just has to make sense, right? We look at League of Legends, right? Those right points. I'm a big League of Legends fan. Well, was. I never play it now. But you have those right points. What if you could collect those right points and that was like on the blockchain, right? That coin would be so expensive. It would have shot up in price quickly as. So, are you bullish on Kusama or Axelar? I believe AXL is Axelar, right? AXL? I'm sure it's not that one, right? Axelar. So Kusama versus Axelar, in my opinion, it's not even a question. Kusama beats Axelar because I think Axelar has pretty bad tokenomics from what I remember. I did a bit of a dive on it, and with one of my students at one point, I forget what the outcome was now, but I just know I was going to buy it, and I remember looking at something on the tokenomics, or it was like token absorption, and I was like, hell no, there's no point in me buying this because it's only going to go up from speculation money. And that's, of course, a big part of it, but I think Axelar can have a lot of traffic run through it, and for it to only absorb demand from speculation, no thank you. So yeah, and Kusama also has that, have I spelled Kusama wrong? Kusama has, look at this, $23, and check this out. Oh, okay, that's not too much. 571. But the supply is only 8.4 million, right? So we're not talking about many tokens here. Yeah, it's infinitely, infinitely go up, but that's a big sex appeal, I think, to a lot of people. A lot of people are going to see that and go, yes. So that's my opinion, right? A lot of degens just look at this sort of stuff and think, wow, So we have to kind of think in that way. But yeah, I just don't think Axelar, that's my opinion at least. Binance Launchpad for the next bull run? Yeah, so what do we have here? BSC pad. We have BSC pad. I was going to buy a whole heap of BSC pad last bull run, and actually this bull run as well. I was going to look at heavily diversifying into launch pads, but I feel like launch pads are a really scary thing. I think if you're going to buy like a launch pad, it has to be one of like the top ones, because when we're talking about cream of the crop, I think Bluezilla, which is the company that pretty much runs most of these premium launch pads like BSC pad, they are the cream of the crop. And I think it genuinely is a good strategy. Like, don't let this small trading volume confuse you. Like, I strongly believe that the project will definitely go high in price again. Oh, that wasn't really that high, but the tiers are quite expensive, yeah. And so, when we're talking about the tiers, like spending, is it like $300,000 for the top tier, or 300,000? Okay, so 75,000 tokens, and you work that out. 75,000 by 250, that's quite a lot of money. Whereas 75,000 tokens right now is $8,000. Like last bull run, that was over like $300,000 or $400,000, right? So and then you're getting into these projects. It's like you can make passive money, which is the appeal here. But my biggest concern again is the regulation. If regulation comes in and regulation puts a big cuts it off, then yeah, what's the point of buying these things, right? They're just going to go to zero. But I still think there'll be launch pads because DeFi is going to still prosper, right? DeFi is still going to prosper in this case, and I think launch pads will definitely have their place. But that interim period, that cull is going to be I'm telling you guys right now, it's going to be a very, very shady time. It's when I mean shady, I don't mean like scary. I mean like, well, it will be scary, but like we won't really know what's going to happen, right? It's going to be like this big cloud. So very, very careful of that. And so we don't know what's going to happen to these projects, right? We don't know what that legislation is going to entail, especially for the US. A lot of the market is US. You know, there is definitely global regulation we have to consider here, but I think US is a big part of this. Fetch AI. Yeah, I mean, I'm really not typing very well today. Yeah, so Fetch AI. To be honest with you, I haven't looked too much in Fetch. I did a brief look the other day because I was looking into some AI coins, and it just didn't really spruce me up. You know, because the way I see it, right? Okay, so like, yeah, okay. If you want to diversify into one narrative. And I'm going to come out with a video tonight. Actually, you guys need to watch this video tonight. Probably one of my best videos I've got coming out anytime in the last little while, and it's going to be touching on narratives and proving that narratives are the main point here, right? And so you're like, yeah, if you want to diversify, get a project in each narrative or a couple projects in each narrative. Don't just focus all on one area. And so I think AI is definitely a good thing to diversify into. It's going to be one of the largest sort of narratives coming up here. But yeah, just be careful, right? Just be careful of the projects. I'm not saying Fetch is bad. I'm just saying like do your research, right? Infrastructure for smart autonomous services. Okay, that's right. Smart agents. That's cool. I must have missed something because that's actually cool. I must have scrolled past that. I didn't look into what agents actually were, to be honest with you. Like I understand it's like the big part of the project, but I must have just been in a whole different world because I don't remember I remember they had agents, but I don't remember what agents actually did. And this is cool because I'm actually working on like incorporating AI very deeply right now into my systems for the channel, and that's cool. You know, predict, act to undertake meaningful tasks in the real world. That's awesome. That's very useful. Man, I'm glad you mentioned this. Who mentioned this? Paul. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I'm gonna do some more research in I'm gonna do some more research in a Fetch actually. Now that you mention it, see, like sometimes I do that. Like I go over projects, but like something that sticks out to me, I'm just like, ugh. Like sometimes it's just my mood. It's bad. But thank you, bro. Really appreciate that. Graham, thoughts on accumulating ADA versus Sol for max gains? Now, if you're talking about max gains here, okay, let's just assume both projects continue to grow in that direction. I would probably say Sol is the better choice, okay? For sure, if you're talking about gains. Let me check the market cap. 9 bill market cap, all right, so 24 bucks. Now, I use the previous price, by the way, like I'm doing here, loosely, because, you know, we got to consider the fact that there is going to be more tokens in circulation. But the good thing about both these projects is they have a pretty slow release of their tokens. I've done a little bit more research on ADA's price, and I definitely don't think it'll be more than $5 to $7 in the next bull run. I really have a strong feeling about that. So, when we're talking about gains, I need to do more research on Sol in terms of where it can go, but I would definitely say if it was me personally asking, I would for sure say Sol as right now for max gains, right? John's in the chat. What's going on, John? Good to see you in here, brother. Tony with the $2. Thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate that a lot. Thank you for supporting me and supporting the channel. So yeah, thoughts on Celer network. Is that right? I'm doing the right one? Celer, yeah. So, okay, let's look at Celer here. So it's interoperability. Yeah. Okay. First of all, you guys know I'm a fiend for interoperability. So I like this because if without these sort of projects like Celer, the industry won't survive. You cannot tell me the industry will survive with networks that are siloed. Individual islands. You can imagine the countries of the world being individual islands and then trying to facilitate a payment to your auntie or uncle in a different country. It's impossible. You'll have to get on a ship and go bloody give them the money yourself. So projects like this make sense to me, right? And they're going to find more demand. What you have to look at these projects, just like Axelar, right, is they can have a good base. They can be connecting a whole heap of networks together. Let me get myself full screen here so you can see what I'm talking about. So, and then they can connect to a whole bunch of networks. But if they can't pick up all those communication lines, right, and potentially even, because something like Celer would obviously be able to create these messages that are extremely complicated. Not even transactions, they're messages at this point, right? Send it to A chain, then send it to B chain, then interact with X, Z, K dApps, then send it back to your original chain. That's a very complicated process. So obviously they want to charge more, but like, what are the fees for that? And so like, that's what we have to look for. Extremely important on these sort of networks, right? So John, a second ago, Crypto John in the chat mentioned utility is king. It is king, and it's extremely important for a project like Celer to focus on utility, okay? So you must remember that when we're looking at these sort of projects. Now, that would be one thing I would say to you, Tori. So I said Tony, Tori, sorry, Tori, to look at. Okay. Built on Tendermint, so we know it's centralized. That's probably fine. So I'm guessing it runs on the Cosmos SDK, maybe, hey? Is that right? Is it an IBC connected network? It sounds very IBC to me. I mean, look, it sounds fantastic. This sector, though, is getting very crowded, Tori, I must say. So when you're looking into Celer, again, make sure you're looking for those utility, like where, okay, it's one thing saying our token is used for X, Y, and Z, but like, is that actually important for the type of project it is? Right, Celer might have no transaction fees, for example, and they might have other sort of token, utility where if you want to create a dApp on the network, you have to stake 1,000 Celer tokens. Cool. But that's now like, okay, well, so how many dApps are going to build on Celer? Probably not as many as it's going to be processing between different networks. So in that case, the priority here is the fees, okay? So that's what you'd be looking for in this. To me, it sounds interesting. Like, I love instantly, like, I love it. Like, so we're comparing this with, like, Cronos or Crypto.com token. This instantly gets my attention 100-fold, right? Because I can see an actual use case here, okay? So, yeah, interchain message SDK. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. The DAO's very important, actually. So who's building on it? Let's have a look here. Supported tokens. Hang on a second. Oh, this must be one of their products, right? Okay. They have a very diverse, wow, they have a very diverse list of connected networks here. That's fantastic. 21 validators, as I said, running on Tendermint, you got to kind of have very small number of. So yeah, I mean, you could probably correct me on this, Tori, but to me they sound like they could definitely be IBC connected. So yeah, I mean, look, it's a cool network. It's a cool network. Again, make sure we look at. Okay, so if they're going to also focus on developers, how good is that infrastructure itself? Now, to me, it sounds like a pretty. To be honest, it sounds like a pretty new advanced project. So they might have a really good base, you know what I'm saying? Substrate. It might be is it a Polkadot? Anyway, it's cool. Yeah. Just, of course, the biggest thing here is making sure that it is actually being developed on and built, right? Because obviously there's no point in us looking into this if it's just not being used. So yeah, I mean, like, whatever sort of, okay, so obviously they're an independent network. So what I would do if I was you, the next steps is 100%, before we, change subjects here, is to, if there's a block explorer, just type in like, Celer Network Block Explorer. Oh. Wait, they are their own network, right? That's not going to tell me much. Maybe not. Maybe they're on Ethereum, so they're a dApp. Anyway, I'm getting probably too deep into this now. But yeah, I would definitely make sure that it's being used. So like holders, cool. But like transfers, how much is being used? Yeah, okay, so it's just got like I think it might just be like a series of smart contracts. And then it's got its own network where people can build on it. Yeah, anyway. You know what you have to do. Overall, I mean, it's pretty stupid for me to rate the project based on not actually doing my research on it. But yeah, I mean, straight away, just knowing the industry and knowing what it needs, and also knowing the fact that it's doing things like complicated messages and so on and so forth. Yeah, I'd probably give it at least a 7. So far, but that'll change depending on how how those stats actually line up. Okay, so Damien Wilson says, perhaps off topic, but there is an Aussie guy on YouTube saying that Corium is the real XRP. Some conspiracy. Would really appreciate your view on this topic. As a holder of XRP, and is that ISO portfolio? It's just cut off there. Okay, so yeah, I mean, let's have a quick look at this. I mean, because XRP, that's a massive rabbit hole, right? It's a massive rabbit hole to go down here, and this will piss people off if I say the wrong thing. So, but immediately I'm thinking, what? This project doesn't even have... What? So it's a tiny... What's he... So this person is saying that this is actually the true XRP. I'll tell you what. I don't know what this guy's smoking. Unless this guy like knows something that literally no one else knows. Probably not even the founders of XRP know, to be honest with you. Then yeah, I think he's probably smoking something. Respectively. Top 5 mid-cap you think are great? Good question. That's a good question. Top 5 mid-caps. Right, so what do we consider a mid-cap here, people? I'd consider a mid-cap probably under a... Well... it's going to depend on where we are in the stages of the crypto market, right? So obviously the bull market, that's going to probably go up to like probably a 3 billion market cap or something like that. But if we were to keep it within a certain level, I'd probably say under a 500 mil or a billion market cap. Yeah, let's say under a billion market cap, eh? So I think, actually, let's make this tricky. Let's say under 500 million, right? Well, we got Gala. I would probably consider Gala in that, but I'm not going to pick Gala. Actually, no, I would pick Gala. I would pick IOTA, but I just have this... I just know it's a great project, but I just don't think it's going to do... I don't think it's going to do well, per se, in the next bull run. But, subsequent markets, if not... I don't think, So when I say 2030 bull run, I don't think there necessarily will be a massive blow-off top event in 2030. I think we'll find a steady growth after regulation comes in. And then once there is global regulation, it's just going to literally just go in a straight line like this and then probably taper off. It's going to asymptote, right, to pretty much traditional markets. So I think IOTA will really flourish at that point in time. So maybe, okay, if we're looking long-term here, IOTA, yeah, Gala, IOTA, you said top 5, right? Sui's an interesting one, maybe. I'd pick Casper, I'd pick Mina, that's 4. Ooh, Arweave, maybe. And let's have a look here. Worldcoin, no, I'm joking. Uh, Maybe Ocean. Maybe Ocean. I don't talk about Ocean, but Ocean's a great project. Definitely not Jasmine. Okay, now we're sort of getting in a small cap range, so I'm probably going to have to pick. Out of that, I'd probably go back to the first page there and pick. What did I say before? Yeah, I wouldn't pick. I'd pick Arweave. Yeah, those four. Arweave, Mina, Casper, Iota, and Gala. That's my picks. Algro or QNT, if I had to choose one, that's QNT. Ran QNT 100%. Wouldn't even have to think about that. Because I love Algorand. I love Algorand. And even if there wasn't an SEC, like this weird thing with the SEC, I would still pick Quant without even guessing that. Just because it's on a whole different level. It's on a whole different level to any other network out there. Period. Name me one network. I think XRP probably comes close. Like XRP probably even beats it. But other than that, it beats Ethereum in my opinion. Beats Ethereum. Beats Bitcoin. Like, crucify me. Crucify me for saying it beats Bitcoin, but it does. Would like your input on the Kong token. Massive pre-sale right now. All right, we'll just touch on this. This sounds very meme coiny to me. Kong token. And by the way, guys, I'm very, very outspoken about me thinking that Bitcoin isn't going to last, and saying that I don't think Bitcoin is what you all think it is. And I know other people that are a lot smarter than me, other YouTubers that agree with me on that. And so I think time will definitely tell. Unfortunately, if I win, it's going to really kill a lot of people. Not literally, metaphorically. Kill their wallets, at least, unfortunately. So I don't want to be wrong. And I'll never say I told you so, but that's my opinion. So Kong. Okay, so Kong here. What do we think about it? Bro, it's a BEP 20. That instantly just kills my vibe. I would honestly probably say, yeah, if it's a BEP 20 token, and if it seems a little bit meme coiny, I mean, I'm kind of hesitant to press the website. For these sort of projects, I'm like, I don't want to get scammed, you know? I'm really, I guess you got to be kind of like this. Do I do it? No, I'm not going to do it. Sorry, David. So I'd love to, bro. I'd love to, but I'm just like, ugh. This sounds kind of cool, right? So yeah, it's kind of like raising capital for small to medium enterprises, access venture capital and private equity. So it's essentially like a glorified, what's that company called? Where you can raise capital, and there's a heap of scam on there, heaps of scams. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. The fundraising platform. But yeah, there's so many projects like this out there, and they're all governed by DAOs too. So this isn't anything special to me. Matter of fact, the parent company of the company I was working for in Web3 was exactly this. Ahmed says, hopefully I'm saying that right. What's your current portfolio? No, is this something you want to answer? Yeah, I mean, I've got it up on my channel. I don't want to because I'll be honest with you guys, I don't have it all in one place, or at least within 2 to 3 different places. So if I was to go through my portfolio, 1, I have money in there that I don't want people to see, and 2, it's going to be scattered. So I'll be like opening wallets, putting passwords in. It'll be a bit of a pain, but I might do an updated portfolio soon just to kind of cover where I'm at. That's a good question. Don't ever feel like it's a bad question to ask, right? Bacon and eggs. Check out Verasity VRA. Great use case. Yeah, I mean, I covered VRA on my video last night, actually. Well, for you Americans today. Verasity, and I've covered that in pretty extensive detail as well. Lots of different features happening here. Don't get confused with the 10% in circulation. It's actually like 50%. It's like Stellar. The other 50% are held by the foundation, the team, basically. Yeah, I have high hopes for Verasity. They're solving a fucking massively important issue. So it's very, very important. And all they need to do is just bring on more companies. But they will give out their VRA tokens to acquire and sell their VRA tokens, by the way, to acquire companies, right? So they're in like this media space. So like, let's talk hypothetically speaking. Verasity would, if YouTube was small enough and offering a very small amount of money, VRA could sell their tokens, their VRA tokens, to buy YouTube if they wanted to buy out a media platform like YouTube, because Verasity is designed to be built into these sort of media platforms for this this sort of revenue share or this fraud protection, you know. So yeah, Verasity would do that. So just be careful. I mean, I'd see like this is a part of me being someone who researches projects and who loves what I do, because I will always find something that's bad about the project, and I'll always consider how serious that might actually be. And so if you're someone who hates hearing that sort of shit about your favorite projects and you call it FUD, then you got a serious issue on your hands, because you are the type of person that will lose money and then go, oh, I should adjust, right? Not adjust, I should have just, listened, for example. So, keep that in mind. Bacon and eggs. So just, I'm not saying they would, and I'm guessing they'd be very transparent with that, because if they dump their tokens, I damn well bet you that the project would be under high scrutiny for that. High scrutiny. Just like XLM. So, yeah. And as they mentioned, like in one of their documents, they mentioned that it would only ever be for a net positive thing for the project. Net positive. They'd never do it for a net negative, right? At least intentionally. Is it okay to hold tokens on Coinbase or Coinbase wallet? Where should we hold our crypto? Now, this, Crypto 3, is a very important question. Now, you guys know that I've pretty much said that I've been strictly using Binance. Okay, now I've got, again, my coins on many different places and different wallets, so on and so forth. Most of them are self-custody, but some of them aren't. And I've had probably, I'll be transparent, about $25,000 on sitting on Binance in just Australian dollars. And they recently obviously turned off the ability for us to actually send that money back into our bank accounts. The on and off board ramps is the words I'm looking for here, right? And there's a way they can work around it, but it's stupid. It's stupid. So, and it doesn't actually work with my bank, so I can't do it. So anyway, so I've had to go through multiple different hoops here, sign up to multiple different sort of exchanges to allow me to do that. But this is the problem, right? They're constricting the way that we can get money in and out of crypto. So I would say, one, you want to be liquid. So Crypto 3, if you're talking about where a good place to put your coins are, all you need to care about in the bull run and the lead up to it, and actually towards the end of it, is being able to transfer your either like stable coins and buy altcoins, or altcoins back into stable coins. You don't have to worry about getting that money back into your local currency, at least I believe. You just want to make sure that the platform you're using, and this is why it's kind of important to have sort of stable coins on at least multiple different places, like, hot wallets, maybe even if you want cold wallets. I'm not too sure if they offer that, but at least have them on somewhere where you can have like a diversified, essentially breakup, right? So if you had $20,000 like I do, you might want to use 4 different, mixtures between a couple different exchanges and a couple different hot wallets, self-custody wallets, because then what happens is if Binance says, hey guys, we're experiencing high traffic right now, we can't, you can't buy this coin, they always spew some bullshit. So you want to be able to then use a different platform. And if that platform shuts down, at least you have money in other places that you can inject if need be, because that's a real big issue. The real big issue is not being able to take that out. So I would say, yeah, if you can, diversify that. There's no one right answer for that. There is no one right answer for that. Because if I say, yeah, Coinbase is all right for, that sort of Binance alternative, well, Coinbase, like has happened in the past, I believe, they can easily say that, hey, we're low liquidity guys, when everyone's selling, so be very careful. Why not definitely Jasmy? Yeah, so for those of you who are joining, by the way, first of all, if you haven't been here since the start of the live stream, welcome. So I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name. Sorry, bro. I'm going to say your last name. Is it Oni? You mentioned before, well, at least I was picking out 5 mid-cap altcoins that I would like to buy in an idea, like, hypothetically speaking. And I ran past Jasmine. And so Oni is just asking me, why not Jasmine? So I run through this pretty much every live stream, so I'm not going to touch on this again in greater detail. It's just that I have a problem with the way that the kickstart of the platform. And I like the project. I love the idea of it. If they, for example, have, let's just say, I don't even know how you would quantify this, like 3,000 users or like 20 gigabytes of user data, and then they had these enterprises using that and there was actually money coming in. Like once that kickstarts, and then I would think, okay, yeah, this is a game-changing project, because I believe all the tokens are in circulation, correct? So that would be awesome, because it's only pretty much up from here. Any thoughts on Magic Coin? Let's have a look here at Magic. So yeah, it's a competitor to Gala. I've heard from some people it's better. I've heard from some people it's not. I think these sort of these are gaming studios, right? They kind of hinge on the fact of like, what games are they putting out? And we're not looking for AAA games here, guys. One thing that I learned from doing a bit of research, like when I say a little bit, I mean a real little bit, by the way, for how much research I like to put into stuff. Gaming altcoins don't have to be these hugely crazy games. Like if these guys rebuilt Flappy Bird and Flappy Bird like popped off, then like that's what you want. You just want a game like that. Like, the perfect analogy, I believe, is like, I put a video up on Stellar XLM like 2 weeks ago, and for me, it was just an update video on some news that came out. It took me probably 45 minutes worth of research to like put everything together and make it like get my story straight. And then I was like, this video won't get any more than probably 3,000 or 4,000 views. It's whatever. I quantify effort with the views, which is a bad thing, right? But anyway, it's got like 30,000 views or 40,000 views now. And I'm just like, this is a perfect analogy for these sort of things. Like, don't think because it's a AAA game, and by the way, most of these games aren't AAA games, or because like they have these massive teams behind them, they are going to always be good. Sometimes like these indie games are the best sort of games, right? But yeah, like, so obviously, okay, so in a roundabout way, I was pretty much just saying we'll have to check the quality of the individual games. It's like these might be pretty cool. And I think I'm going to get in more into gaming and I never thought I would ever say that in crypto, but these are where the big money's made, and a lot of you guys love gaming too. So we're going to look more into this sort of stuff. I'll probably come out with a video, Gala versus Magic, which is better. So actually, and to remind me of doing that, I might actually put this in my taskbar next to fetch. Okay. Thank you for that, man. Really appreciate that. Mitchell. Right, check out Trias. Pretty interesting project and no more dilution. Yeah, I've seen Trias pop up a few times now. Why? Maybe I've had a few people telling me to look into it before. So yeah, it's a micro cap. By the way, guys, like the live stream, I would really appreciate it a lot. It would help me out. And also, matter of fact, you should triple like the... Oh, that's why I've seen it. Yeah, we've looked at Trias before. Triple like the like button if you hate the new coin market cap design. I fucking hate it. Absolutely hate it. Like, I'm still getting my head around it. Like, it was so much simpler before. Like, this is... Whoever's doing their UX is nuts. Yeah, so we're not going to cover... I'm not going to look into Trias, because I think I've looked into it before multiple times on different live streams, actually. And, yeah. I mean, it seemed interesting, I think. IoT, right? All platforms. You know, I'm always a little bit iffy with these sort of micro cap projects. And I think in a bull run, they'll definitely do well. As long as they just sound sexy, like this web page is perfect for that, right? This web page is perfect for the person who doesn't know much about crypto to kind of get in and go, okay, there's some weird words in here I don't know. It sounds good to me. Looks pretty good. Look at these cool graphics. Boom, we're going to buy it. And that's why we get these massive multipliers and on these projects. They like come out of the blue. So yeah, but I don't want to like crap on Trias here. Trias, because I have it in my research. It could be a fantastic project. Oh, that's right. These guys were using like real weird language here. Leviathan trust layer, Levitium ledger layer, Prometh, Magkata. I'm sure there's a reason why they've used that language, but that doesn't bode well with me. I don't think I listen to that and I don't think, oh yes, like I think, why have you used that language for? Surely there's a different word in the English language you can use apart from, is that even a word, Magkata? I'm sure it means something within their niche, but still. So Chain Explorer. You sleeping on Trias, bro? I might be sleeping on Trias, sure, man, but yeah, I don't know what's happening here. Okay, cool. But I had done my research, so I can't sit here and say it's a good project. See, that's the one thing I gotta be very careful of, right? Is I'd rather talk like about a project from like a not a negative point of view off the bat, because that might spread like this sort of FUD vibe, but I definitely don't want to be like overly enthusiastic about new projects I haven't reviewed yet, because I'd rather people go, okay, he's not looking too interested in it, I'm not going to worry about it, rather than people go, oh, he's like pretty interested by this project, I'm going to go buy it before he does. Because like I used to follow that, like I used to watch Suppo Man live streams, and because I used to think like that, right? He used to be like, oh, this looks interesting, and I would just run and jump and go. I'd be driving my car, park my car, go on my phone, MetaMask, and try to like buy projects, And so like I'd rather come off with that point of view over a more so hyped up, if that makes sense. At least when I can. But yeah, okay, so yeah, Trias might be, I'm going to take the benefit of the doubt. It might be a good project here. So that's actually, like, if this is true, but that's the right amount of addresses. That's actually a lot. 359,000 for a micro cap like this. So, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's have a look and save this one later. By the way, guys, I want to say something, right? I'm definitely going to be looking into these projects a lot more. You'll see these reviews on these micro cap projects throughout the bull market. Right now, it isn't where I need to be focused. I have to put food on the table, so I have to focus on and also I love the large cap projects I talk about. I talk about what I love, but also I have to think about, like, I gotta put food on the table too. So I can't be like reviewing these projects that get me like a couple hundred views. So but in a bull market, like this is where most people will be looking. So I'll be kind of refocusing my attention, if that makes sense. I mean, I think people that come from a very sensible point of view will understand what I'm talking about here, right? Okay, 300 lifestyle, 200. If you were really hungry, Storj would be on your mind. Oh, I like the way you've worded that, man. I'm not going to lie to you. If you're really hungry, it'd be on your mind. Are you a marketer, 300 lifestyle, 200? If not, DM me. I'd love to hire you. 150 market cap. Yeah, this has obviously got real application, right? Not just in Web 3, but Web 2 as well. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems cool, man, honestly. Again, I kind of touched back on the whole point of, like, I've got to be careful here because I don't want anyone jumping the gun. Partners are a big one. Ooh, Premiere Pro, really? Now, again, we'll have to back that up because a lot of projects do lie or, extend the truth, shall I say, when it comes to these sort of partnerships. That's the only one I recognize on here, right? The only one I recognize. But in of itself, if they are somehow partnered with Premiere Pro, that's some good stuff. How do they price things? Because I wonder if they price things in their token, right? Like oh, here we go. What's it say in here? Oh, okay. So I wonder if like you signed up and then you paid in stable coins, it would then withdraw that out of the supply. If you know what I mean? Like kind of like what Quant does. So yeah, I mean, cool project, man. Cool project. I mean, I'm sorry I can't give you a detailed review on this sort of stuff. As much as you want. That's my initial analysis. Like I can give you definitely a pretty good idea of like if I think it's got real use cases, right? And it does. It's got like, this is actually solving a real problem, not just and it was somehow the NAB show product. Okay, cool. So yeah, cool stuff, man. You might have a gem here. I might just save that as well, because these sort of ones are at least worth having a second look over. What else we got? You are now after dirty advertising money. Please don't start to bring BS to your channel. Other influencers BS. When you say that, Michael, are you talking about doing sponsors for the channel? Is that what you mean, bro? Like, don't bring advertiser money in? Because, I mean, I haven't done a sponsored thing in a while, but I do have some sponsored clips coming up, and that's a part of the game. Like, that's how I have to make my money, right? And so, but I'll always, that's the first thing I'll always mention in future, by the way. The first thing I'll say is this is a sponsored video, and if you don't want to watch a sponsored video, then boom, you click straight off. I'm never, ever, ever going to make you guys watch that, but I have to, like, the amount of work I put into this, and I'm losing money every month, like lots of money doing this even now. So like I have to put money on the table, otherwise I'll just go back to a normal job and do one video a week again. So it's like okay, I can do this full time, but you guys are gonna have to like bear with me and like support the fact that I have to do sponsored reviews. But once the channel starts getting bigger, like when I'm getting a few 100,000 views of video, ideally, I won't be doing sponsored videos much at all, right? Because at that point I can live off the money I'm making from YouTube. So, Ian says the best metaverse / gaming play is render, because no matter who excels in that space, they will need someone to render them. Same deal with AI. It's picks and shovels versus buying the potential gold mine. So Ian brings up a very important point here. And Ian, you're a very smart man. I 100% agree with what you're saying here, man. 100% agree with what you're saying. There's only a finite amount of resources. You can only have so many GPUs created at one time. It's like this whole inflow and outflow thing, right? Like demand. So there's going to be a point in time where things start to slow down. Yeah, we have so many more minerals left in the earth, and we're talking about economics at this point, like deep economic sort of stuff. But I think that when you can leverage a distributed, GPU platform, right? Rendering platform, like how much better is that? It will work out cheaper as well. Imagine rendering like these metaverse games that require so much computation, and that like they're going to get more and more people involved, and it's just going to get more, like larger and larger. Like look where the world's going. I think the GPU to demand for game / metaverse is like 1,000 to 1, and that's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. So yeah, 100%. Ian's on the right target here, but it is hard for people to see that foresight now. It's hard for people to think to themselves, we have gaming, like rendering altcoins like Render, for example, or Flux or Arweave, and like I'm going to buy these to hedge into the future. But that's like so into the future for people, it's like hard to grasp that, or at least make that a viable purchase. You know what I'm saying? Until it actually starts happening before their eyes, then they're like, okay, gotta get on with it now. You know what I mean? So KDB says, Anobius Crypto, could you cover Cadena like you did with HBAR, like low, mid, and high target, etc.? Yeah, okay, I can do that for sure. There's definitely a big Cadena audience on YouTube. Let me write that in for you, brother. Let me write that into the to-do list here. Yeah, by the way, guys, like I'm definitely looking for video ideas. Like the micro caps you've been giving me, fantastic. They're definitely going to be done eventually. Probably not again till the bull market starts kicking off, but at least I'll have a good, basically a good log of projects, right? Worldcoin is definitely against decentralization, but solves a big issue. So I don't know about the decentralization factor. I think right now it's built on optimism. Right, so we're kind of looking at the infrastructure here. They're going to obviously build out to their own network eventually, but that's besides the point. I think the thing about Worldcoin, if the project works as intended to, let me just again go back to the full screen here. You scan your face, okay, and none of you leaves that ball. What happens is that just analyzes you, creates this sort of metadata, this little package in a zero knowledge proof. And then it sends it off to the blockchain essentially and says that this face is one of a kind, it's a real person, and this sort of information now, this person cannot come back and rescan their face, aka this person is a number now, right? So just like I'm unique, it's now I'm associated with a unique number. And so like you can use this number for any platform and anything online, which makes sense. Like it's proof of humanness. And so like I might really go against the narrative here when I say that I actually think, as you mentioned as well, it solves a big issue. I don't know about decentralization. I think when you say decentralization, I do agree with the fact that if it works as intended, right? Because there's a big issue with what if someone somehow hacks one of these, because this whole RFID thing where you can like scan people's information wirelessly, basically you just like tap your phone. What if someone does that with an orb and then like starts like tracking a lot of information? That's scary stuff. So yeah, it's got like this and it's like dystopian, let's face it. Like scanning your face, getting a number, that like rings so many alarm bells, but like it actually could be a net positive thing for the world, especially for an industry like crypto, where you have a very real thing of cyber attacks, screwing projects over. And they could integrate that extremely well into all these cryptocurrencies, like extremely well. So found your channel a few days ago. I'm feeling better prepared for the upcoming bull market because of your videos. I now have a plan. That brings more joy to me than anything else. I'm so glad that you feel better prepared for the bull market. Because I tell you right now, I was the exact same in the previous bull runs. I was so underprepared that like knowing what I know now makes a massive difference, right? Because like you have this mentality like it's all going to be okay, like I'm going to sort it all out, but no, you're not. It's not going to happen. And a lot of you that don't like kind of plan, you're going to figure out firsthand in the next bull run, probably when it's too late, that I just wish if I had done that. At least spend a couple hours out of my life to do that. No one's busy enough not to do that, okay? No one's busy enough not to spend the time to secure your financial freedom, okay? So I'm glad that I've helped you out in that case. I'm really passionate about it, and it really angers me when people don't listen to that. And that's one thing I will tell people, I told you so, right? That's one thing I'll not hold back to say. And I'm going to be saying it quite a lot, I guarantee you that. Just like I was, and I hate to kind of bring up like when I've like made wins, because I don't feel like that's a very productive thing. Hey, I did this right, I predicted this right, Like that's because that opens you up to, if you make one bad mistake and 100 good predictions, that one bad mistake is going to be, it's going to be just absolutely exacerbated by people. Like if you flaunt your success. But I will definitely say right now that I had that exact same situation play out with the Polkadot parachains. When I said to people, these projects aren't going to yield you anything. We're literally buying in and we're sacrificing or bonding our tokens for 2 years. at the end of a bull market, like you should not be doing this, so on and so forth. But people did it, and the amount of people, and by the way, a lot of very nice, kind people, which angers me, but because, I would like to see everyone succeed here, but I definitely did a lot of told you so's. And I had a lot of people say, I just wish I listened, But it's that unpreparedness. It's that feeling of FOMO that we have to overcome, and it's detrimental. John asks, how did I feel about how did you do in the last bull run? Well, I did okay. I took some profit off the table, but not as much. I'm still holding a lot of the tokens I held back then, okay? So I didn't really I took profit off the table, but I'm telling you right now, I had that 100K Bitcoin in mind. Learned a big lesson there. Anything in life, you got to learn these lessons, right? Never look at it as learning a lesson as a bad thing, no matter how bad it might be. It's always a good thing to learn, okay? So like I learned a big thing in that case. I learned a lot about narratives that I'm going to be preaching to you guys in a video tonight. And yeah, I profited probably 5 to 10% of what I could have. It's a bit of a kick in the guts, but I'm holding those tokens now. A lot of those projects are very much down right now, and they definitely brought my average by a hell of a lot up, okay? I know one time that I was, this was like 4 or 5 years ago now, I think. I purchased a hotel room with my partner at the time, and it was like $350. It was a very nice hotel, and I had booked it for the wrong day, but I had booked it on a third-party website. And so obviously when I went down there for the night, they were like, oh, you actually were supposed to be here last night. And I went, oh my God, like that's $350. I cannot have my money back. I wasn't here. Obviously I didn't check in. And they're like, no, because you booked on a third-party website. And instead of me like cracking the shits and just like ruining my day and all that sort of stuff, I went, you know what? I'm going to buy tonight. Can I have a discount? Didn't happen. I was like, so I booked in for that night. And, it was all fun after that. We spent the night there and stuff and had a good time. But, yeah, I definitely learned. Like, never book through a third-party website. Always call the place directly. Ask for discounts. And so, there's always learning lessons in life. Okay? There's always a learning lesson. Sometimes it'll get you down for a bit. But, yeah. How many QNT is a good bag? Note, if there were videos on this exact subject. Did I make a video on how much QNT you should hold? I don't think I did. I think it was I think it was maybe QNT. You don't actually have to hold that much QNT at all, my friend. As long as, it depends when your time frame is. If your time frame is 2025, you're going to obviously have to own a little bit more. What you need to do in that case is look at where quant could possibly go at a minimum. Now, I am someone who believes we'll see a minimum of about $1,500, definitely $1,000, definitely $1,000 in my personal opinion, not financial advice. And so I believe you look at that level, like $1,500, and you work it down. Let's say we're at a nice, neat $100. So it's a 15x. So ask yourself, if I were to take out my initial profit at $1,500, and let's say quant goes to $2,500, and then you take it out in stages, right? Would you be happy with that? At least as a minimum, okay? And if you're like, okay, 15x for me, to make that a worthwhile investment, I need to accumulate 150 tokens. Well, that's your answer, 150 tokens, okay? And again, minimums here. So you want to prepare for the worst. So when it comes around, you're better equipped, right? Skid Mark says, you always wish you bought more when it happens. No BS. Is that no BS? No BS think it's all BS till it's too late. Then they chase the pump. Oh, I think this talking about no people. Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, 100%. Like people always end up chasing the pump, and that's how they get wrecked. I mean, this is a thing about life. Like if someone's made that mistake before, and they're like sitting here in front of you saying to you, "Don't make that same mistake. Trust me." The words "trust me" are very dangerous 2 words, aren't they? But like, learn from my mistakes, then it's the whole part of being like a wise person and taking that on board and at least preparing for that. So that's kind of what I'm here for, right? And you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to. You can make these mistakes yourself. I'm one of those people that has to make a mistake myself to learn it. I bought a nice fancy car when I was 18, 19. all my money in my bank account was in that car. It was paid off, and then I had it for 10 months, and I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm driving around literally like X amount of money right now. This is crazy. It's a nice flash car. But I was like, I'm going to sell it and buy a house. And it's like, because I had people around me telling me, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like older people. I tend to click better with older generations of people, because young people, in my opinion, they just aren't focused on the right things. And so like I was like, oh my God, like they're right. Like if I get in an accident, like I'm going to be stressed. Okay, I'm going to be stressed because all that money is hanging in the balance, and so on and so forth, right? And so like obviously a house is setting up for the future. So Michael says, I mean, that most influencers lie for money, and you don't lie. Stay true, bro. You are an informer, not an influencer. Don't call yourself one. Yeah, that's right. I don't like the word influencer. I hate that word, but I've begun to use it more and more frequently because I don't really have another alternative, but that's a good word to use. And I'm an informer. I'm a truth seeker. I like that a lot. Kicking myself for not buying Moonbeam, DCF. What happened with Moonbeam yesterday? Because I covered it last night. Oh, it's gone up. Really? To all those people thinking that I moved the markets, it was no BS crypto. It's definitely not me moving this. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, it's shut up a little bit. Damn. How much? From 22 to... Okay, yeah, it's not much. It's not much. I wouldn't stress, bro. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it, man. I'm saying they delay you buying now when later it really loses ROI. Ian, yep. Buying a house at a super low fixed rate was the best financial decision I ever made. Telling you right now, as Ian said, houses are the go. Brick and mortar. Now, I believe there's going to be a bit of a pop. Honestly, there probably will be a bit of a pop in the market, and I am preparing myself for that. I will accumulate all the money I pretty much make in crypto from the next bull run is going to be put back into stocks, into housing, and also back into crypto, but definitely not as much as stocks and especially houses. If I can pay off 2 to 3 houses paid off, again, what I'm going to do is prepare for this bubble to pop. So I'm not talking about buying houses at current prices. I'm talking buying houses at like 20, 30, 40% discounts. And then so, buying 2 to 3 houses outright, paying off the one I have now, and, living pretty well financially free at that point. I mean, you can. You just pay off 3 houses in a good location, and the money you make from passive income is enough. That's why I always think about, like, if we talk about housing for a second, right? There's a gray area, of course, but like, okay, what do you want? Do you want like passive income, or do you want like yield over a period of time, right? So I guess, is it capital gains? Yield? I forget the words. I haven't looked into real estate for ages. But yeah, it's like you can make money from the sale of the property in X amount of years, or you can like focus on a property that's gonna not perform as well if you sell it in multiple years, but will yield you more returns from rent. And I'm a big proponent of rent. Okay, and there is obviously differences that obviously depending on how long you want to hold the house for and stuff like that plays into it. But in my opinion, I'm going to be buying houses in up and coming developing locations, which is a hard thing to find, easier said than done, and then obviously going and focusing on higher rent areas, because that's what's going to yield you. Like my house right now, I'll be transparent with you guys. My house is weekly paying me like $680. Which is actually pretty good. And I think after mortgage and after everything, I make like $100 a week. So it's not amazing sort of stuff, but it's paying the house off, and it's a fantastic developing location. So as time progresses, I'm going to be able to hopefully take advantage of high yield, high rent, and be able to sell it at a higher profit. But yeah, this market's crazy right now. Yeah. It's a good idea, guys. I might read a few more books before I kind of touch on it. But I think I want to get back into talking more about real estate, because I think this channel will hopefully migrate not just to crypto only, but to more talking about stocks as well. I want to start reviewing stocks and also get into real estate as well, and at least give you guys a full picture, like what actually would be a good idea to move into post 2025. Because I feel like a lot of people don't really know what to actually do. And I believe that bubble will pop soon. So a lot of us can take advantage. Guys, we might spend 5 more minutes on here before we head off. So leave any of your quick questions down below. Any of your questions I can answer within a few sentences, that'd be great. Again, if you have any questions you've thought of during the week, let me know. I'm here to help. Shane says, hey Kyron, fellow Aussie here, just wondering if you could do a tutorial video on the best way to on and off ramp your tokens during the bull market mayhem to ensure we can lock in profits. So yeah, great, fantastic question, Shane. I touched on this very briefly. I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. This is completely 100% transparent. So what I'm doing right now, Shane, I just, like, as of a few days ago, reinstated my CoinList account, which I've been a big proponent of not using for a long time. CoinSpot, rather, not CoinList, CoinSpot. And also a brokerage that is like a more professional type setup called, what is it now? Caleb and Brown. And so I'm using them to onboard, the ASIC certified. I'm using them to on and off board my crypto. And then from there, that's a very safe place. I believe they're not going to, if they do collapse, it's again covered by the government, right? So, and then I'm going to transfer my tokens on and off from there, right? And that's kind of where I hold my fiat now. And again, I've kind of diversified a little bit of my stable coins right now in multiple different places, Binance, not Coinbase, and a couple hot wallets. But Shane, the most important thing we have to remember here is being liquid in the bull run. Okay, that's the most important thing. We can worry about taking up our US stable coins into AUD later on, as long as you don't rely on that money to live, of course, which you shouldn't, by the way. And that can come in 2026. That can come later when there's more liquidity, right? There's more clarity. Okay, let's pump out a few questions here, people. Brian, how dare you? My house will only go up. JK. Bought a house in Silicon Valley. Wow, awesome. 5 years ago, and it's up 35% in value. Yeah, man, great purchase. Great location, I'm guessing. I've never been there, of course, but that's obviously the entrepreneur hub of the world. I have no plans on paying off my mortgage anytime soon. With inflation running as hot as it is, my fixed payment just gets cheaper in relative terms. Yes, I locked my mortgage in for a while there because it was low for a while. Privacy narrative versus AI narrative, which is your favorite? Ooh, that is a damn good question, 619. Privacy versus AI. I think I've rated AI like a 10. I think privacy is like a 9 from memory. I could be wrong. I prefer privacy altcoins because they're just my type of altcoins, right? Like Mina, Oasis, so on and so forth. I don't like Zcash. I don't like Monero. They've never really interested me very much. But I think AI. So we're talking about favorites. Privacy is my favorite, but we're talking about like for explosive potential in 2025, I think AI might just edge privacy out. How do you think the property market... Oh, have I had my full camera on this whole time? Damn. I just realized. How do you think the property market is going to collapse with huge immigration happening right now? Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to collapse in the next year, 12 months. I think it's going to collapse in 25, 26, maybe 27. Around there. So that's what I mean. Like, if I can profit in 2025 in crypto, make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, anything can happen, and then reinvest all that money I've made. If the housing bubble popped in 2025 before the bull run, you can damn well bet crypto's in a tank. Black swan event to the moon. To the dirt, right? I think you should do stocks also. I'd watch. Awesome, man. Yeah, sweet. Thanks for all your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Much luck to you. And much luck to you too as well, John. All the best for 2025, mate. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, so I agree. I want to do stocks because, I mean, it's just like, it's so much more fascinating in my opinion. Well, I shouldn't say that because I'm a crypto channel, but like, it's so fascinating to me because like, you can actually like call the businesses. Like, you can call crypto, projects, headquarters, sure. But like, there's so much like shit coins in the market. Like, a lot of this is like shady crap stuff. So in my opinion, like, how cool would it be to like actually interact with the business? That's what I'd love. Like talking about like pink, what do they call it? Pink stocks. That'd be so cool. Like just talking with the founder on the phone, like so casually like that, like getting into their head, like what's your vision for the business? Like I want to invest in you. Like what do you have? Man, that'd be awesome. We need that no BS Phantom video. Yes, Phantom is definitely coming soon. You know, because the review videos take me a long time. Like they take me minimum 10 to 15 hours to do. And if I'm doing 2 videos a day, that gets kind of hard. A lot of pressure, as well as then having to like communicate other things. But that definitely will come. Best 5 tokens to hold for the bull run. Oh, that's actually, I'm going to try to refuse to answer that, Jenko, and I appreciate that question. That's actually a very good question, but I would want to give a detailed response to that question. And we're probably going to close up here in a couple minutes. But off the top of my head, because that question, I can give you 5 of my favorite altcoins, but are they the best to hold for the bull run? That's the question. I'd like to look into that a bit further. Hold that for the next live stream. I'm so sorry to do that to you. I'm so sorry. We bought a house back in 2018 and it's 2x since. Wow. Solar as well. That's great. Congratulations. I'm really happy to hear that. Those aren't real privacy coins. Look into Dero. That's a privacy ETH DAG. I mean, yeah, they're not really I mean, look, they're privacy in the sense that they have those capabilities, right? But I think Mina, the way that Mina is going to be working and the way how it's going to be developing, it's going to like if you like LF0 is a prime example. Like you can use the different types of transfers if you want. You can hide your transaction if you really want to. I think, as far as I'm aware. But Dero, okay, I've seen Dero pop up a fair bit on the channel. Let me have a look at this in my spare time, right? Thanks for that one, Skid. JJS, welcome. First time seeing the live stream. That's great, man. Hopefully you come on next time. I've locked up a sub 2% interest rate on a house in the suburbs of Philly and have an interest property in New York, sub 4% interest. The reason I'm in crypto is to invest more in properties. That's the way I started as well, DCF. I started purely, I was like, I'm going to get into crypto. Once I got infatuated with it, I was still all out on real estate. And I thought to myself, I am literally just going to make this money and then put it back into buying more houses. And I think that still is my mentality. Still is my mentality. It's all going to be put back in a brick and mortar. And also buying commercial property as well. That is also a very tricky one. Okay, yeah, Pink Sheets. Thank you, Ryan. Pink Sheets. I've got to rewatch. What's that? Not The Big Short. Wolf of Wall Street. Pink Sheets. Anchor Network thoughts? Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, bro, I probably couldn't give you an answer on that. I would have to look it up, and we're going to probably close up here now. But PMW, come on next week, mate. Come on next week and ask me the same question. I'd love to answer that for you. Are you all in on crypto or stocks as well? Right now, not in stocks. I'm going to use the money to put money in stocks. I want to make enough money to be able to like put like $1 million into stocks. And then that's like you guys know about 401k. That's essentially my 401k. Over here, we have a thing called superannuation. That's a whole separate entity. And that's a great way to avoid tax. Didn't hear it from me. That's pretty well known anyway. And so you put your money in your super, but I also want to have like a retirement fund, if you will, in stocks. Guys, that will come. Awesome. Thank you. Guys, that's going to conclude the live stream. If you haven't liked the live stream and you are watching, really appreciate you being here, but please hit the like button to push it out to more people. That'd be fantastic, that the people that come later on. And guys, I'll look forward to seeing you all next week. Now, I want to say for those who weren't here for the first part of the live stream, I will be beginning to do probably these twice a week if I can manage that. That's the whole goal. And I want to start bringing on, special guests, other influencers as well. So if you are an influencer, no matter how small you are, 100 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, we'll have a conversation. And also I want to bring on more CEOs and founders as well. I think possibly we might see the founder of Flux Network, Dan. He might be coming on here first. Okay, so when that happens, I'll let you guys know, but you must be here to see it all happen. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. We're going to close up here, and make sure you come in for next week. And if you have any questions during the week, ask them. Ask them. I'll try to get to them. Okay, guys. Take good care of yourselves. Peace.